Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif, and Baka's not here this week, so I didn't have to mess it up. Yay!
Yay.
I don't know if you watched last week's or
I
not.
did.
Okay.
I did.
Yeah, I was like,
I usually watch the intro just to see if Chicken messes up, and it was you this time.
No, yeah, it's usually me. I don't really know why you would think it would be anybody else. It's me.
Because it's funnier when he does it than it is when you do it. To be honest,
it's gonna be May.
Because he makes a big deal about it because he usually doesn't mess up often. It's like me. It's like when you get to, it's like we're very dramatic about it.
I like they all like you don't usually mess up. I don't usually mess up. Like, well, I'll get thrown under the bus here.
I ain't driving any bus. Hey, we didn't get shut out today. I'm still watching my Lions game. Everybody knows that I'm a Lions fan. We didn't get shut out. So hallelujah.
I mean, could be driving the bus home very, sulking a little bit.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be like, if this was winter, we could salt the roads all the way back home.
Chicken is watching his Detroit Lions game, so if he gets quiet and sad looking, it's because they're losing.
Oh, I'm already past that. I was quiet and sad looking after the first quarter. Trust me, this has just been nothing but wow. Yep. Hey, it happens. It happens.
I'm also worried a little about our internet because your camera keeps fuzzing. Like, the audio part's fine, but
really?
the camera was a little
anything.
fuzzy. Okay, well.
Yeah, yours is fine on mine.
That's good.
But now Chicken's does fuzz a little bit, so it just could be a signal coming off there.
Yeah, so we'll keep our fingers crossed for the best.
Hers did it that time.
Yep, yeah, I was gonna say hers just did it right there too. You got to remember also Nuggy's watching his tablet too.
Oh, yeah. Well,
It is what it
now
is.
That's a thing. He's been playing games, and I'm gonna put that loosely because I don't know if you've seen a lot of the toddler games to play, but it's like hold the screen so that something moves across, and like that's pretty much the whole gist of it. But he's playing games.
He's learning how it works really well.
Yeah, we're starting out early.
Smart kids. I mean, trust me, when we were 3, there was no way in hell that we would have been able to be like, what is this thing? Oh my God. We had these big old boxes.
What are you talking about? My mom's in her 70s and still can't do that.
Don't worry. When our kids' generation is in their 70s, they're going to be able to take apart smartphones piece by piece and put them back together like it was nothing. And we're like, wow, I can't do that.
Do like when I was young, my dad would used to take like a engine apart and put it back together.
Exactly. They're going to take smartphones apart and put them back together. It's the modern version of engineering.
Wow. There's not much of the news this week, but we have been away for a while, so I'm sure some of us have played some games, maybe.
I have.
Probably.
I've played games.
Oh, yes. We started our new game, Grif.
We've started several new games, Chicken.
What other one did we start?
So we started Conan, and then last night we tried out Paragon with Snitty and his friend, and that was interesting. Those are both new to me.
No, but that's not several, that's 2. But the main one that we're starting long term is we took a break from Valheim.
Yeah.
And Baka's been wanting to play Conan for years now. So we bought it behind his back. And I know, right? He's not even here to get to talk about this. And we surprised him with it and was like, hey, guess what we're playing? And, we've been playing. I run our own server, which the game runs perfectly. Like with running the server by itself, my game runs perfectly. The server, like it's not very stressful on any system at all.
It's very nice. Especially after running your own server on Ark was like, put up the server, make sure that there's nothing else running except for the server in your game. And So.
Ark was a little bit harder to run, but this game feels better and runs better in my opinion.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah, it's very pretty too. Like I don't have a problem with Valheim's graphics. It's got that kind of 8-bit look, but it's got some very pretty shading and things like that. But Conan's just pretty, like all around. Especially since we got a mod that lets us dress up all of our follower people. So everybody's wearing
follower. we use that term loosely. Okay, followers.
I mean, they're thralls, but that seems awfully mean.
You have to club people.
Yeah,
tie them up and drag them back to the thrall breaker, and then put them on a wheel to make them work until they're your friends.
To be fair, I like to think that my lady is very nice to them. Okay. I didn't mean to steal.
After you feed them gruel and stick them on
there's like no way to make it nice. There's just not. We're awful people, but we need them.
Well, you should see the place that I built. Like, everybody coming in was like, "What the fuck have you been up to?"
Chicken built us a little starter home that had 2 floors and the upper floors where everybody got to have their little beds and everything. And then, like, he built this massive compound where everybody gets their own 2-story house to themselves. 3-story house.
Don't worry.
He's going the route of Maldus in Valheim now. Now he's in that.
So it started like our first little one was just this little single room place, and then the second one was like, I need to make it a little bigger. So I built a 2-story with all of our crafting stuff outside, and then a second floor in there for the beds. And then I was like, I need something more long term. So I found this giant area, built up walls between these rocks, and I found what was a nice little place up on the cliff sides, and I built an elevator that goes up, and I built 4 3-story houses on the cliffside, and then one off like on a little peninsula up on the cliff. That's mine and Grif's house, and it's like 5 stories. It's 10 by 8 squares. It's fucking massive. So when you come to the compound, you just see these houses on the cliffs. Not to toot my own horn, it's pretty fucking awesome.
It is.
I am interested to see, because I was wondering about the optimization of the game. Because the game was very optimized when I played it, but I was playing single player. So I'm glad that from a server standpoint, it is very optimized. But it also makes me hopeful, because they are the ones developing the Dune game, the MMORPG that's coming out for Dune.
Yeah,
Dune
I'm
Awakening.
Sure it's gonna be fine then.
So I'm really excited about that too. Then.
Oh yeah, like this game runs so well. Combat feels like. I liked Valheim, and Valheim inside of its little bubble is fantastic. But oh my god, it's nice to kind of get back to this style of, third-person combat, where the combat feels a little better, in my opinion.
It does. I feel much more equipped to protect myself in this one than I did in Valheim for some reason.
Yeah, I think part of that is to like I from what I can recall, because you're still dealing with what I call an arc style game, where based on the way it is.
Oh, 100%.
Icarus, similar to that as well. I don't like the fact that like my clothes on Valheim take up inventory slots.
Yeah.
I just think that is a dumb mechanic. I don't like it. I didn't like it on Grounded. I didn't like it on I don't Valheim.
Like with Valheim, your inventory, your carry capacity essentially is not tied to a skill. Like you can't level up your strength so that you can carry more. You can have a belt, which also takes an inventory slot that lets you carry some heavier stuff, but you never get any extra inventory space.
Yeah,
like, there's just no way to do that.
Then all you'd have to do is, because your inventory doesn't take up a whole lot of space on the screen when you pull it up, just have a thing to the side that allows me to be able to put my clothes on real quick, an outline of my person, to be a stick figure for all I care, but just doop, 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 done.
There are mods that can let you do that too, like outfitter mods and whatnot. But even so, like I feel like that armor should always be outside of your inventory. Like if you equip it, like it's equipped to you, you don't have to worry about carrying it around.
Yeah, like because this is the equivalent to me turning around and going, all right, let me take my backpack. I've got 5 slots in my backpack.
Yeah.
I currently have my shirt on, my pants on, and my shoes on. So I only got 2 slots.
Like, that's not how it works.
That's not how a backpack works.
Yeah, like this, it's good. Like I've already got our next game picked out too, like after Conan, but Conan's long.
Yeah, we're gonna be here for a minute.
So we're gonna be here for a little while. But the next one after this, that kind of drawn my attention. What was it? It's Pal World, I think it was.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
The little Pokemon style, you shoot them and you capture them.
Oh yeah. The ones with the guns.
Yeah.
That we all were like, why
do they have guns? Yeah.
Like watching the trailer and like reading through it, that game plays like Ark and Conan.
Really?
Yeah. You get that? Like you actually you go out, you build your weapons and armor and things like that, and you go out and you capture the dinosaurs, the monsters, and you can tame them and use them for farming and factory work and cooking. Like you use them for all of the necessity stuff. Like you got to have fire monsters for cooking, different ones for manufacturing and for farming. Like you need them for farming. You can have flying ones so that you can traverse. Like
Well, it's gonna be a while till we
it's
get there.
Interesting.
It's like, okay, I'm interested. It comes out in January for early access, so like after it comes out, I'm gonna keep my eyes on it to see where they develop it. But it looks fun. Looks like it could be something. So, but that's much further down the road.
Yeah,
probably like second half of next year or some shit.
But right now we're having fun. I think I'm having more fun than anybody else playing dress up with the thralls though. Because we got a mod that lets you, like, pick out, like, it's not their actual armor, but you basically put on clothes on them. Yeah, I'm just, it's fun. I didn't do dolls much when I was a kid, but this is a real fun version of grown-up dolls. I'm like, our first two archers, you can rename them too. Ended up being named Cinnamon and Sugar and looked like exotic dancers because...
Oh my god. She like put them in the smallest strings that you could find.
It's not, one of them has like a little gold-plated bikini thing, and it's got like some like flowy, it's stuff where it's like, this is obviously what the dudes want to put the ladies in, and I'm like, nah, let's also make that the other way then. So,
all is fair.
Yeah. And there's one guy that I put in just an embarrassing outfit because he came at me and I didn't want to beat him up, but he made me. So now he looks ridiculous.
Trust, I understand in that game.
I'm like, how dare you insult me, sir? Now you will wear this ridiculous costume. Also, he's a dancer, so get in that corner and be cute. So. Sometimes Conan makes you feel bad because, you know, you have thralls, but it's kind of funny at the same time. But we did get horses last time we played.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Get some horses.
The next big priority for me in any game is what kind of mounts can I get? Let me look at these ponies.
There are so many mounts. I want some of those fucking mountain lions or the tigers. Like, you can get
Look,
rhinos.
that's a ways
like
off, okay?
Saber-tooths. Like, we got a lot of crafting to do before we get to that point.
Yeah.
Iron in that game is, like, the main thing. Like, oh my god, you need iron? You need a lot of iron. But I increased resources, so they're high enough to where it feels easy enough to keep materials supplied well enough.
I did the same thing when I was doing my solo stuff, and I had one area that was, because the iron, if I remember correctly, is like in a desert environment. Like, well, most of that's desert anyway. But but I set up an entire like kiln and everything else, like the oven thing that you had, and I just right next to there was just a bunch of them that you could mine. And I would just sit there and mine all those and just go ahead and have them doing their thing. And then I'd walk back to my place and chill out there and just let it do its job. Like, I'm not even going to worry about it for right now. You all just do that. Take some of them with me and leave some of it there.
Yeah.
But it's a fun game. I like it. I'm glad y'all enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, it's fun. Yeah. It's a nice break.
We had to try out Paragon last night. That's a game that was around a while back, and I think it was an Epic game. Like when they tried to get into MOBAs, and they didn't support it for very long.
They did the same thing with that one that they did with the original Fortnite. When they realized, which that can also lead into one of the topics that we have.
You didn't let Oak talk about his game.
Well, he can talk about it too. We can come back to Epic. Easily, we can come back to Epic. But Paragon was Epic's version of HOTS, which Heroes of the Storm, which was Blizzard's MOBA. Paragon was Epic's MOBA, and it didn't last too long.
Was it based on some of their characters from other games?
No, it was completely...
Okay, I was like, nope, you said it was like HOTS, and that's what it is for Blizzard. Is they have characters from their other games.
It was just their MOBA that they wanted to do.
I don't remember this one. I remember Paladins it was in my brain when you said Paragon. I don't remember.
Paragon was a smaller one that didn't last for too long. I got into the alpha and played it a bit, and then played it a little while after that, and then Snitty got into it really hard, and we started playing it together, and then they just canceled it entirely and got rid of it.
Yeah.
So is it top down like regular MOBA?
No, it is a third person.
Okay.
Think of it like a third person like shooter. Yeah, it's a bit like Smite, except like there's a lot of guns and different style like that. It's very basic for a MOBA style, like because like League has, you know, the 3 lanes, lots of towers, jungle camps. This one's just simple. You have your first tower, your second tower, and then your main thing. Like core. That's it. Like, yeah, your core. And then you've got some jungle camps in the middle, And it even has an auto buy for your item management. So you just turn on auto buy, and every time you go back, it just buys your items for you, and you can just keep going.
That's nice.
Combat feels good. It runs really well. Me being a huge League watcher, I could see that the people who made this game got a lot of inspiration for their game from League. Like one of the big minions, Grif, it's actually elemental too, and it gives stacking elemental buffs just like League.
Yeah.
And then you have the big monster boss, which buffs everybody and buffs your minions so that you can push harder. It's like, okay, I get it. You got a Baron too. Then you have a pre 20-minute one where you can drop it in a lane and it pushes automatically. It's like, okay, I get it. It's very similar to.
They have a lot of really cute anime girl characters too, which I don't have a problem with at all.
But yeah, it looks pretty good. It's free to play. To play. You just throw it up, download it, play a few rounds. If you enjoy Steam. It, cool.
Are people playing it?
Yeah, it's got some people. Actually, that's a good question. I do want to go see what
I have no idea. I was like, well, I'll play this for Snitty because this is not something I would have picked out myself. But it was fun to play it last night. I played for a little while.
Yeah, it was fun. I like games. I like MOBAs, but it has been a while since I've
I didn't like it. Has partial controller support, and I don't understand why you would do partial support with something like that because you can.
So is that like I'm sitting here with my controller and then
you got to put it down because the only movement it had was the WASD keys. Like, who's gonna even use that partial controller support at that point?
So it's just the left thumbstick, basically.
Yeah, for you to look around and that's it. You can't move with the controller. It wouldn't do it for me, and I'm like, look, I'm not spending 16 hours. All of the tutorial stuff too. It only shows you because I was trying to do the tutorial with the controller. It only shows you it in the mouse and keyboard controls. Like, it's like right click on this, left click on this, and I'm like, what if I'm playing with the controller? What button is that?
Oh, you know what it was? Here's what it was. It was, since it was Epic. Epic was that they were currently working on it at the time, but then they realized they needed chat or not chat. Sorry, they needed some type of cart in their Epic store, and
they had to
take all the people that were doing the controller support and put them over there, and then the game shut down before they could finish it. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm. I see. I knew it was going in some direction like that.
But looking at the numbers for it, it's actually growing a little bit.
Well, that's good for them.
It's up 119 in the last 30 days, which is an 18% gain from their previous months. It's not too bad.
City must have been talking to people.
I mean, it's growing. It like him playing it because I've been waiting for him to find one because there were 4 or 5 copies of Paragon coming out on Steam because after it was like 2 or 3 years after Epic gave it up that they let the assets go out so that everybody else could remake it. And a bunch of them have popped up on Steam afterwards. Like once they're finally like, here's all the assets for the game. Do whatever. We don't care anymore. So a bunch of copies came out and Cindy's been watching them. And some people have just been like cash flips and they're pieces of shit. And others have done poor job imitating it. And this one seems like they've kind of gotten that style down with a very simple formula. So we'll see if this one actually holds its ground and can continue growing.
Yeah.
But for a moment, it's not bad.
Yeah. Well,
awesome.
I noticed, Oak, that you've been playing some. I almost said Saints Row, and I have no idea
Saints
why.
Row, you've been
playing.
I
have no idea why that was Baldur's Gate. I have no clue.
I played a little bit of BG3 today.
I need you to catch up. You and Baka are in roughly the same place in that game, and I need y'all to catch up so that I can talk to somebody.
I'll be playing it more this week. I just had a lot going on. Daughter had surgery, all that stuff. Basically playing babysitter to a 12-year-old. But the physical therapist told us we shouldn't do that anymore. We should not. We should make her go do things. So guess what? Nope, you got to go do it yourself.
Could you give me? No, I can't get you anything. Get up.
Yep, that's right. So she gotta work on her leg a little bit. But I have actually, so while I was doing all that, I was playing a lot of Switch. I went ahead and bought the Disney Illusion Island game.
Okay.
Which looks like one of the newer Mickey Mouse games or Mickey Mouse cartoons. Sorry,
Yeah, that
looks like the Mickey Mouse. The animation is similar to those, and the concept is basically Mickey and his friends were called in for a picnic at a particular place at this strange land, and they come in for the picnic and then find out that they were duped. There really wasn't a picnic. It's just these people need help, and you have to go through and do the whole helping aspect of it. As a platformer, it is a very good game. As a cartoon, it goes right along. It's with the modern Mickey cartoons. They've done a good job with it. They did a good job. I thought the game was going to be a lot shorter. Like, I started playing the game and I'm like, oh, I've already beat the game. Like, I got to a certain point. It's like, okay, well, I've already done everything I was asked. And the game continued. Like, they did a really good job of creating opportunities and without giving the plot line away, and reasons for you to have to continue playing the game and finishing the plot line up. They did a good job on it. If you have a child, I recommend it. If you're a fan of kind of the old school platformer games, I would recommend it as well. It's got some really good mechanics on it. They do a good job of building on each one of the mechanics. And what I really liked that they did, and it's multiplayer too, so you could have up to 4 people play. But what I liked that they did, depending on each one of the character, it's just 4 of the Fab Five. It's so you've got Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy. So let's say it's a wall jump. So you have to be able to unlock the wall jump to be able to hold on to the wall and then be able to jump off or slide down the wall. Mickey's is he gets a pencil to be able to do this. Okay. And then like Minnie gets a different one, and Goofy gets a different one, and Donald gets a different one. And so each one has a different item to be able to do whatever motion that is. So depending on how you play out, is going to be changing the experience for you as well. They'll work the same, but they're going to look different. And then, plotline wise, it was really good. I enjoyed it. It was funny. I cracked up several times. There is a lot of reading. It's not only during the cinematic parts do you have the actual voice actors doing their job. The rest of the time you're reading for each one of the characters, and which is, if you're like my daughter, she just goes through and just hits the skip button every time. But which I cannot stand. I'm like, how do you know what you're doing? Like,
how do you know what's going on right now? Well, I could just guess.
Well, she'll do that in every single game, and she goes, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do here. And I said, remember when you skipped that part? That's when it was telling you how to do it. So have a nice day. I'm going to teach you real quick not to do that. Once I finished it, I needed a new game to play and to just kind of sit around and chill. And of course, October 20th was one of the games that I was waiting on to come out on the Switch, which is the new Mario Wonder. So I've been playing
great things about that thing.
Super Mario Wonder is great. And on, everybody should know by now that I'm a massive Alabama fan. Was at the game Saturday, and Big Al, which is our mascot, was dressed up as the Mario character from the game. God.
That's funny.
It was so great. So I was dying, but the some of the new mechanics that they have that they've built in are great, and some of them take a little bit of getting used to. Now they have a thing called badges, and the way the badges work is basically one might be a floating hat to be able to make a longer jump. Some of them might be to where you have you can hit a wall, and then if you hit the jump button again when you hit the wall, instead of bouncing back the other direction, you can bounce up. So if you're right on the edge of hitting a block, it'll pop you up on top of the block, which is pretty cool. And they've created challenges in the game to be able to help you out with that too, which is neat. The online service, I played with it a little bit today just so I could talk about it. It's weird, but it's kind of cool at the same time. So the way the online works, you're not actually playing with anybody else. It's you've picked your character. You can play with your friends, but in general, you're not playing with anybody else. So you just see the outlying ghost of everybody else that's playing at the same time you are, that they've put you kind of in one little world together.
So it's like competing?
It's like
no, you're not
what
competing.
Capcom did with Exoprimal, where you could see the other people, but you're not really competing with them.
Yeah, you're not really competing with it. But what's cool about it is, so like one of the challenges I went into, you had to get 5-star, figure out where they were at, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you could see where these people were going. And I'm like, how are they doing that? How are they getting where they're at? So now you can think and go, oh, okay, there's something they're doing I'm not doing. I got to figure out what it is. So then you kind of stay in an area and try to figure out how they were doing what they were doing, and then you can progress through. So it's kind of nice in that respect. So if you kind of get stumped, turn the online on and kind of see what other people are doing and go from there. Mm-hmm. What's other thing that's really cool is if you are offline, it's just like any other Mario game. You have a limited amount of lives, and so you have to, if you die, you start back over from either a checkpoint at the beginning, depending on where you're at in each level. And if you're playing online, then everybody can drop these little cardboard cutouts of your character.
Okay.
They're on springs. You can drop as many of them as you want. But but what it allows for is, if you do die, it allows you to be able to, you now become a little ghost, and you go to one of those cardboard cutouts, or it'll show the outline of a player that's in your area, and all you have to do is touch them, and when you do, you come back.
Oh.
So it doesn't cost you a life.
That's neat.
Which is really cool, especially if you've got kids and you're trying to teach them platformers, or you just have people that you know that are really bad at platformers and they just want to be able to
so attacked right now. Stop it.
But which I thought was a really cool concept. The other thing is the things you have to pick up are these seeds, these big blue seeds. When you pick one up, it changes the world completely. Some crazy thing will happen. Like I picked one up, and an entire thing of, they're basically triceratops, but they have a name in the actual world. And they come running through in a stampede, and you have to jump and get on top of them and ride them as you go. And like the whole world is moving quickly, and you're trying to make sure that you get through it as fast as you can. And then you try to get to another seed to be able to stop this thing from happening. This event from happening, and but there's certain items that you can only get when that happens, and there's certain items you skip because it happens, so it allows for replayability as well, which I thought was pretty neat. So they've done a really good job of it. The colors are really great. It looks kind of like an acid trip at the end of the day on some of the games, the way that it's done. But and the new Mario voice does not bother me. I'm just going to state that now.
Is it close enough? Is it good enough?
It's to me, it's the same. It is the same. There's I can't remember which words it is he says. It sounds a little different, but for the most part, it's exactly the same. And but they've done a really, really good job on it, and I look forward to continuing to play it. That's going to be probably my wake up in the morning or just before I go to bed game, to play through a level or two, and just kind of gradually grind through it as we go, because they do have difficulty levels on each one of the levels, so like I played a 5-star level earlier today just to try it out. I agree, it's 5-star. I was like, oh, this isn't too bad. No, it's bad. It is bad. So, but I'm interested to unlock some more of the badges as well, and see what they're capable of doing. They even have one for underwater that's called a dolphin kick, and so you'll just see. In my case, I'm playing Mario, so Mario actually just shoots across the screen, but he allows you, if you're big, that's your breaking of bricks underwater. So yeah, to be able to enter new worlds, so it's pretty neat. But that's all I had.
Well, I've just been doing Conan stuff with Chicken and playing. I'm working my way through Baldur's Gate. I did a big battle, and I didn't even need help, Chicken. I forgot to tell you yesterday. So, you should be proud of me, but I can't talk to you about it yet because it was an important one. But I know what I'm gonna play next too. Like when I finish up Baldur's Gate, I'm buying Phantom Liberty and I'm doing that. Like,
or you're gonna play Saints Row since you bought that on day one release, and you need to play and finish it before you buy another new thing.
Well, I mean, Phantom Liberty is getting bought no matter what, but
well, that's fine. But you can wait until
I've heard so many good things about it, like super stellar, exciting things, and I'm trying to avoid spoilers, and I want to play it.
Really tell me about it. I would like to play Baldur's Gate, and because all of my friends are talking about it, and I see nothing but spoilers about it, and I can't play it.
I mean,
I'm actually unable to play
I really think that yours is because you broke that quest, but if you do not want to undo that, that's fine.
I can't. That is so far back, and I'm pretty sure that like that character did not break my game because I don't even use him. Like, it's loading issues. I don't understand how that would cause that. Especially when every time I see them talk about patches, the amount of people underneath complaining about their game crashing in Act 3 is just unparalleled to anything I've ever... Like, this is Fallout 76 style. My game crashes in Act 3 regularity.
Well, hopefully they'll come out with a new patch for you soon.
Well, so I got a question for you on the Phantom Liberty one. Are you going to, because they've added the new stuff into the game, are you going to play from scratch and go all the way through?
Okay. Of course. Well, they did. They reworked like the entire perk system and everything. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna start at the bottom and go back through and do all of the, try out some of the new stuff and things like that. So I'm interested. I'm excited. Well, that's fine. You want to talk about the couple of things of news then?
We can.
Okay. I guess we can start with the Epic one since Chicken kind of mentioned it earlier and kind of go from there. So, go for it.
You brought it up. I figured you were going to.
No, I thought you were going to lead into it.
Know, right? Go, Grif.
This is not my job when Oak's here.
Yes, it is. No, continue.
It's everybody's job at the end of the day.
I know, right? If you're going to bring it up, then you continue with it. It's like you start up the car, you rev it up a little bit, and then you jump out of the driver's seat and say, go. What the fuck? Get your ass back in there.
Okay, so Epic Games, which I would think that anybody that listens to our show by now, we're not big fans of Epic in general. I think most people know that. And I mean, I think their engine's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Like the Unreal Engine's great, but some of their practices otherwise are a little absurd. Recently there was news that about almost 900 employees were laid off. And then the head of Epic said, "Hey, we're spending way too much money. So in order to make more money, they're going to give away more money." By saying, if you currently have games on another PC client of some sort, so that could be Steam, that could be the Xbox store, if you're on some type of subscription service, whatever it is, if your game's currently over there, they're going to give you 100% profit for 6 straight months if you bring your games over to Epic. Now, it does not say exclusivity. It just means bring them over. I did not see exclusivity.
It does, doesn't it?
Does it say exclusivity? Oh, it does say.
Yeah, 6 months exclusivity.
So you're going to take them from one location that they're currently, people know them at, and move them over to Epic for 100% revenue for 6 months. And then it will switch to the 88%, 12%. Now, why would I do that? If I were one of these people, I would go, okay, or I could just move to you, leave them where they're at, and do 88-12. I'm still making 88% of the profit, and I'm located in 3 different locations. We'll say,
it's for the developers, like, because it says if you have more than 6 games, you have to bring at least 3 over, or if you only have 3, you have to bring them all over, and it's 100% profit off of all of your games that are being sold of that. But 100% of nothing is still nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why would I do that?
It's your back catalog. And I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why you would choose that. Does that mean that you have to pull them from where they're at already because they want it to be exclusive?
Yes.
So if it's on Steam right now and you're selling like 12 copies a month and you pull it from Steam, so you're no longer selling those 12 copies a month, and put it on Epic where you sell 1 copy a month, are you really coming out ahead?
No, hell no, not even close.
Well,
Because
and
I'm
that's the
thinking
thing.
it's for a smaller, like a lot of smaller devs are what they're aiming this at. Because larger devs are probably like, no, we're not idiots.
But even then, though, if you're saying that somebody has 3 or more, right? Which it just to be clear, if you have less than 3, all of yours has to be moved over.
Yeah.
But if you have 3 or more, you're not. I mean, you're still an indie dev of some sort, most likely, but it's not where you're a small dev. You know what I mean? You've at least gotten to the point to where you're not one person most likely anymore. You probably have a staff of some sort and are working if you're 3 or higher in games. There are exceptions to that, of course, but I would feel like you would at least have some that you'd be able to bring over. But again, 8812, that is, you're still getting a massive cut.
Yeah.
At 88%. So if I brought 3 games over at 100% and each one sold 100 copies, you're saying and we'll say a dollar a piece just to make the math easy. That's $3 or $300, right?
Okay.
But if I'm doing 88% and I move those over and I'm selling 100 copies at your place on each one of those games, and I'm selling 100 copies on Steam, and I'm selling 100 copies on Windows, and I'm selling 100 copies on GOG.
Yeah.
Like,
why would you do that?
Why would I do that?
Well, and if you are a bigger dev, do they pick which 3 they want you to bring? Because you could just be like, here's our 3 trash games.
No, you have to bring them all.
No, if you have more than 6.
Oh, more than 6?
Yeah, so if you've got like a franchise and it's got 12 games in it with all of its spin-offs and everything, do you just be like, okay, well, here's the 3 that did the worst, so give us the money on that one, like, or is Epic gonna be like, no?
Well, I mean, that is a fair assessment, though. It could be to where you put your 3 worst games over there and be like,
make the most money you can off the worst one.
Yeah, I'm not making anything off these anyway. Let's see what I could do. You know,
I think it's really telling about Epic that the only way that they can seem to win people to their platform is to promise them a super big cut of money and then tell them that they can't make that money anywhere else if they do that. Like, it doesn't seem like it's a super sustainable long-term kind of ideology, nor does it seem like it's really friendly overall.
I don't like, this just seems like a bad idea. Like, I keep going over this and over this and over this, and the more I look into it, it just seems like more and more of a bad idea. So Epic's first run, that's the official launch of the thing. Epic's first run. So you bring your brand new released games to Epic first for 6 months exclusivity, and you get 100% of the profit.
Okay.
And when you do that, you can bring over up to either all of your other games or 3 of your other games, and you get 100% profit of those too. But as I've read that, those extra games don't have to be exclusive. You're just bringing more.
Just the first game has to be.
Just the first game, and those little side games can come with it for an extra 100% profit. Like,
how is it sustainable?
You're not making
for Epic,
money.
Though? Yeah, like that's what I'm asking. Is how
making money? Like, you think
I guess it's
bulking
because
up your
they
catalog is going to make more?
Yeah, I guess they look at it as these developers will then look favorably upon them to bring them all of their subsequent games. However, I think that doing 6 months exclusivity, I mean, at minimum, because obviously other games like Saints Row did a full year, doing that exclusivity really cuts the legs out from under your game on other platforms too. And I don't think that is worth it, really.
Well, but I'm sitting here looking at the like the same way though. That's like when you. It's the reason I made the statement I did at the beginning. Tim Sweeney said, for a while now, we've been spending way more money than we earn. You're not earning any money off this.
Yeah, how is it sustainable in the long term? I mean, they just had layoffs at Epic too.
Right, that's the 830 employees. So
I mean,
I don't get it. Like, you are giving brand new games 100%, like brand new developers, when they release a brand new game, 100% of the profit for 6 months. And if they bring over even more games, not only do you as the company and your client have to support these extra games, you're not making any money off of them.
Right. Your server space still costs you money.
Yeah, I just don't think that this is sustainable in the long run.
No,
I mean, obviously it's not doing well. They're already having layoffs and giving the, like, I get it. You want to make it look good as far as customers looking at you going, well, they give the devs so much more than Steam does. And it's like, yeah, but look at what Steam offers and why they take the cut that they do. I mean, everybody's in business to make money, or else you're not going to be in business. And that's what Epic is showing. They're not making money. They won't be in business for very long. Like, it's just not going to work out if you're not making any revenue. And I don't think having, these people, be like, oh, well, Square Enix bought us the next Final Fantasy and gave us 6 months exclusivity. So that boosted all of our sales across our entire store platform. It doesn't work like that. Just because somebody's going to come to your storefront to buy the thing that they can only get from you doesn't mean that they're going to buy everything else there too.
I just don't get it. I mean, because I've looked at, and if Epic really wants to figure out what's going wrong, I've seen a couple of videos of people who are like, I've never bought a game on Epic, and they scroll through more games than Oak has. Like,
it's all the free games.
It's unbelievable. Like, look at all that money that they've just given away.
Well, and here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with having free games that are out there. But if you think about how everybody else has done it in the past, it's because you're paying a subscription service of some sort. Like with Xbox, it was the Xbox Live Gold, right? They gave away free games that way. PlayStation, it was because of PlayStation Plus. And originally when that started, PlayStation Plus was an extra. You didn't have to pay for their online service, but if you had Plus, you were basically getting those free games every month. You got a few other perks. And then with Steam, there's no subsystem, so you don't get, the only free games you get is free to play, right? Or if they're doing a free weekend, but even then, it's temporary. It's whatever the weekend is. Where what they're asking people to do is, here, we're going to give you all this shit for free. Why would you buy anything? And on top of that, you've got an 88-12 split. And at one point, it was 85-15. They've changed it to 88-12. I would much rather go, come to us. We're going to give you an 88-12 split for 6 months. And after 6 months, we're only lowering that to 85-15. Because people would understand the company's got to make money somehow. Like, I don't know what is in Tim Sweeney's brain. Like, I don't know if somebody shot him with a Fortnite gun or what the crap is happening. But at the end of the day, the fact that he can't understand this is, and there's got to be a voice of reason in the room with the guy. I know he's not the most reasonable person on the planet, but somebody's got to be in there going, we're all going to fail if we do this.
Okay, I have to be 100. Like, for every developer out there continuously looking at this, it would be one of those things is, why the hell not? Like, hell yeah, I'm just going to bring 3 of my games, throw them on the Epic Game Store, make 100% profit off of that, and then just forget about it, because anybody else who wants to buy it still has access everywhere else. Like, I'm not going to go to Epic Games to buy a game that's free on Game Pass. Right. I'm not going to go to Epic Games if I could just buy the game on Steam. But the developers are like, cool, if anybody is actually over on Epic and buys it, all of that money is mine.
And it doesn't say, and when the thing about it is, too, it says that the only thing that you have to do is bring the game over that is brand new, right? It doesn't say it has to be a good name.
Like, you could do the now on Epic. That whole thing is a separate thing, like a separate
program. So it is separate? Okay,
yeah,
so then it doesn't matter.
Here are my first 3 ever games, they're point and clicks from the 90s. I'm going to put them on there for 100% profit, because who cares?
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, because it says additionally we're kicking off now on Epic. So
I feel like that's the ones
incentive program.
That's the ones that they're going to make free.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as it stands, most people only go to Epic because, one, they absolutely have to use exclusivity, or
that is dirty. That would be
it is Tim Sweeney at the end of the day. It could happen.
Oh my god, that would be dirty as hell. Like you sign the agreement, whatnot, and your lawyers don't look through it, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna offer it free the first week that it comes out on Epic Games, so the people who do want it get it for free, and then you might get 1 or 2 drops in the bucket there after that. Otherwise, we just give it away for free because we're not making money off of it anyway, so you're not gonna make money off of it. Like that kind of dirty play. Definitely see Epic try to do something like that.
I mean, 100% of nothing is Still nothing.
Exactly. If Epic's not making any money off of it, fuck it. What? I mean, do they really care if the developers are going to make money off of it? They're just trying to bring people, monthly active users, to Epic.
Well,
the
that's
Epic
the
Game
thing
Store.
is most people only go to Epic, and they open it up to get the free game, and that's it. They don't actually go there to do shopping. If they're gonna buy games, they're still doing it from a bunch of other platforms instead, because the other platforms offer more.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there are people in the comment sections on articles like this, and a lot of them are obviously, you can tell that they're idiots that don't care, and they're like, what does Steam offer that? Well, okay, reviews, support, returns. I mean, like,
workshop, communities.
yeah, they're like, well, I don't need all of that stuff. I just want to play the
list.
game. And it's like, okay, well,
Cool.
I mean, I
Their
want to know what
library
other
is
people are
second to
having
none.
to do with the game first. I like reviews, so I'm going to buy my games on Steam where I can read the reviews.
Well, even for the people that just want to play the games, the store is super fucking good. And the library is super good. You can categorize. You can search your games by friends. You can create your own groups. Keeps like the store is just good, and the library is even better.
You know, when the groups, you mentioned that, like the little shelves that they have now on Steam, when they first launched that, I was like, I'm not going to use that. Why do I need that? Oh my god, it's so nice. I use it every day. I love it. So, I don't know.
I'm pulling up Epic's launcher now since I'm the only one that has it. I'm just curious.
Helpful.
I'm just curious to see, like, free game wise. Of course, it might take a hot minute because it's been a long time since it's been on. Yeah, it's even like, hey, when was the last time you signed in?
You're like, well, I don't remember because I think you're garbage, but can you just open anyway?
Well, and it's
The free
intrusive
games
too.
This week are Eternal Threads, The Evil Within.
Oh, Evil Within's good though.
Yeah, don't worry. After that's for another 4 days, and then right after that, it's Tandem, A Tale of Shadows, and then Evil Within 2.
Oh, you get both Evil Within games.
Yeah, for free, right there.
Didn't even have to pay a damn dime to them.
But you know, you're going to Epic because you want to support the developers, right?
Oh,
right? I mean, that's the whole point, right?
I mean, that's the whole point. They get more profit. You know,
except for you're getting
for
the games
Sims
for free,
4
so you know.
Is free. Is that one already free? Sims 4?
No.
Okay, it's free on
It's on
Epic.
EA Vault though, I think.
It's
Yeah, I
free
think you
on
can get it
Epic
on
for-
EA Vault. I think you can actually. I think they made the base game free, but you still have to buy all of the X packs. I think on Steam it's like that too.
Okay. Yeah, like
That's how EA gets you.
That's how they get you.
They're like, try this out, and you're like, where's my toddlers or pets or something? And they're like, paywall, go buy it.
I just don't care for the Epic Store. I mean, I've been using Steam for
I
so
don't care
long.
for the way that the Epic Store tries to force business, and it also does that. We're the good guys. Look at all of the cuts we give the devs, and it's like, you're offering games for free so that you don't have to give them money. I mean,
What is
theory.
Eternal Threads? I don't even know what that game is.
Well, you can get it for free right now if you want to install
Until
the Epic
October
launcher.
the 26th, evidently.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I don't. It's like they go, okay, you know what the Evil Within and the Evil Within 2 are, but we're gonna give you a couple games you have no idea what they are.
Ooh, Eternal Threads is on Steam, and it's a very positive.
Really?
look at that. You can
309
see that other
reviews.
people
There's
like
a-
it because Steam has a review system.
There's a demo on Steam. Let's see
Crack
what the
me up.
reviews say. Good. The Invisible Hours, Tacoma, Her Story, The Return of the Oberdin, Gone Home. If you played those games, you're gonna. love this
It's the
one.
same person did Return of the Overdin?
No, it's the same style as game.
Oh, okay, yeah, I love that game.
Short game, walking sim, a little over 5 hours. All right, good characters. So it's all around decent game for $20.
This other one's Tandem, A Tale of Shadows, and like
Hey,
a
look,
bunch
it's on
of
Steam.
things I've never heard about, like a bunch of like magazines and websites, whatever. Oh well, Screen Rant I've heard of. They gave it a 9 out of 10. Everything else I've never heard of. Basically
No,
8 out of 10.
It's 109 reviews, 88% positive. It looks like it's a side scroller, a dark side scroller style game.
Interesting.
A puzzle platformer, not bad. But yeah, they like to give away one lesser known game and a popular title game. But why? You don't have to be giving away 2 games every 2 weeks. Like, holy shit. That's 100.
But that's the only
Not
way that you can get people to open your platform.
It's 100 and something. It's 104 games a year.
I'm closing that one. I'll sit here so I can
Quick, uninstall.
That's unbelievable.
Are you sure you want to close the launcher? Yes.
Are you sure? You might need it. We might put up a free game, like, right now. Look at this. We need to be able to let you know. Don't close this. Don't close. Oh, wait, you shut the door. God damn it.
Oh, wow. You get 5% cash back when you buy games on Epic.
Really?
For your credit card?
Oh, 5%. My brain did not transfer that right.
Yeah, so Epic Rewards. You get 5% in Epic Rewards that you could spend in other games.
How are they making money?
They're not. That's the
They're
problem.
not. That's why they're laying people off.
Like, what the fuck? What is the business plan? What is the long term? Like, is Epic trying to, like, 5-head this where they're like, well, if we don't do business well, the business will collapse and then we can file for bankruptcy, and for some reason we think that's good, but we can't pretend that we know this is happening, so let's pretend that we believe in all of these dumb business practices. Like,
okay.
Well, but I mean, how much money did they lose in the lawsuits? What I want.
I have no idea.
Because you think
it was like 250 million.
But then you have them trying to sue Apple and Google at the same time. Imagine how much they paid lawyers. You know, trying to pay lawyers. I mean, that's fucking ridiculous. You know, not to say that Google and Apple are in the right, but Jesus, man.
I have no idea.
Don't waste money when you don't have to. And apparently Epic just is like, oh, we've got lots of money.
Well, and one of the arguments Apple kept making is we need money in order to be able to survive, to be able to keep our store open and do it. We've got to take some of the money from it. That's just the way business works. Meanwhile, Tim's like, I don't know what that means.
He's like, I'll show you. I'm not going to take any money on my store. Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I'm just saying,
yes,
like,
you're showing me.
The Fortnite oil well is drying up, and they're starting to get a little panicked.
I do wonder if that's some of it. It was more of an ego thing where it's like, look, we don't have to make money on this. We've got Fortnite. And it's like, yeah, but how's that going for you, buddy? I mean, games' popularities come and go sometimes, and you're not making as much money as you used to.
God.
Well, whatever. For one money weird company to another money thick company, I guess.
I was going to go from one crappy CEO to another, but whatever.
That's also true. Also accurate. I can do this. Would you want me to do this? What chicken? You got mad at me?
Go ahead, Grif.
Yeah, go ahead.
Microsoft,
you left us hanging last time, so I'm just saying.
bought Activision Blizzard. It's done. Here we go. All right, everybody, buckle up. Guess what? Bobby Kotick staying through the end of this year. Raise your hand if you're surprised that he's not staying for after that. If you raised your hand, you haven't followed any of the news. They already said he wasn't staying. Pay attention.
Which is why you should visit us more often.
Well, I mean, you're a regular listener to the show. You should have known that. We talked about it. But
man, you should listen to us more
I'm going
often.
to start putting up quizzes for our shows just to see. No, I'm kidding. I'm not doing that. I don't have that kind of time. But yeah, that's basically the Activision Blizzard news. Yay, they bought it. Bobby Kotick gonna stay to ensure a smooth and seamless integration, and then they're gonna buy out his contract and kick him to the curb.
And that means Microsoft is ready to go.
Yeah, it is. I mean, come on. We knew they were. They already had all the Blizzard properties moved over. Well, not all of them, but they were already moving Blizzard properties to Steam. They're probably going to start putting them on Game Pass at the start of the year, I would imagine. And, you know, if you were surprised that they weren't ready.
Phil said 2024 before the Activision stuff starts getting moved over.
So right now, BlizzCon is next Saturday.
Is it really?
We should have skipped this one and done the show next week. Oh, well.
Right now. Next.
I didn't realize.
Next Saturday, the 4th. Next Saturday is the 4th because it's Sunday right now. This Saturday is the 28th, which is Baka's birthday.
This coming.
And then next Saturday is the 4th. Yeah, not this Saturday because it's Sunday right now.
Look, weeks are hard.
Saturday. It's Sunday to Saturday next. So 1 week and 6 days from today. Does that make sense?
Oh yes, yeah.
So BlizzCon's on the 4th, so we will be doing it on the same.
Yes, in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from yesterday, 13 days from today. That's why I said next.
So we will have some news. We will have some news. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, because next week is the 29th. So we will be.
God, the way you said it, I was
have
like,
a show the 5th, which is right after it ends. And I am just gonna say, this one, I have a feeling is gonna be big.
Well, we'll see.
What do you think
I really want to. Well, they'll probably make WoW announcements because we're coming up on the end of Classic Lich King, so they've got to decide if they're going to plow straight forward with the regular schedule of Cataclysm or if they're going to do a time shift and offer Classic something new. Either way, that announcement will be big. They
might tease the next expansion for WoW.
Yeah.
Or it might be a classic expansion for a while. We'll have to see.
I'm sure we'll see the next Call of Duty.
They're gonna announce the first expansion for Diablo 4. Guarantee that. They need to regenerate hype on that thing because that thing was like and just fucking died. Like it went straight up a cliff and fell off.
Yeah.
It's still got a following, but it ain't there.
Wasn't there originally and granted, I never played this game. I just vaguely remember stuff. And so it could not even be WoW at the end of the day. But wasn't there like one of the expansions to where it like kind of rewrote the history? Like y'all went back in time or some shit like this?
Warlords of Draenor.
Yeah. Nobody liked that one.
No, that one was a terrible expansion.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was pretty bad. It's pretty crappy.
So
I was just thinking you could remake that to where it was actually a good expansion, and then instead of going toward retail, you go way the fuck out anywhere else.
Yeah, you just create a classic timeline. You just forego the retail timeline.
I don't
honestly,
believe they will, but a lot of people think they will.
If they are not if Blizzard is not smart enough, which I don't think they are, not smart enough to understand that Cataclysm is the end of Classic, and they're going to keep trying to sell Classic, like their numbers are just going to go
the same way it did when Cataclysm came out the first time.
It happened once. It's going to happen again.
Yeah.
It's the history repeating itself. Are you dumb? Are you going to let history literally repeat itself in the exact same form, or are you going to take a risk and do something different?
I don't know.
I mean, could we get the WoW too?
No.
They're apparently already working on it.
Maybe. I mean, it could be a reboot completely.
I don't think it'll be a reboot, but I also think there's going to be something else announced too.
Like a new IP kind of thing?
Something tells me that they, especially with this fully finishing out and Microsoft getting a hold of them, I think they're going to announce something big, something different, because it's typical first of all, it's the first in-person BlizzCon in 4 years. You gotta do some fireworks here. You want to come back big? Microsoft now owns you. You want to come back with a lot of fire? If Microsoft is smart, they're gonna break Activision Blizzard apart and be like, all right, you guys doing your own thing. Then you have your WoW team, your classic WoW team, your Diablo team, your Overwatch team, your Hearthstone team. Keep the identity separate. You guys can work together because it's all Blizzard Entertainment stuff, but focus on your projects. And then Activision can just keep making Call of Duty. Fuck it. They're not going to do anything but make Call of Duty games. I
don't even know what Activision makes besides Call of Duty now.
Yeah, I don't either. I was going to say, what else do they do? But because I don't actually know anymore.
I feel like they've had a racing game. Yeah, I'm looking it up now.
Because they were working on that survival, the crafting survival open world game too.
Okay, list of games. We're gonna do 2010 to 2019, just so we have it in here. So before COVID, basically. Because that's gonna kind of change it up. All right, start from the bottom, which is 2019. Call of Duty. They own Spyro.
Okay.
So they did the trilogy, the Reignited trilogy. They own Crash, which one of the things that somebody laughed about is they think that Crash Bandicoot should become the new spokesperson for Xbox, just like he's supposed to for PlayStation. Crash, okay. They used to own Destiny. They don't own Destiny anymore. But it's Sekiro, really. Do they own From Software, or is it just they published that, maybe?
I think they may have just published that.
Okay.
From Software is still
I would say
free.
they published. That's probably.
I would say published too. But yeah, Crash, Call of Duty, Spyro. Skylander games are defunct. They had the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 games. The Ghostbusters game.
You're not wowing me here.
Nope. Platinum Games had done a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game back in 2016.
Yeah, but Platinum's owned
Oh,
by
Tony
someone else
Hawk.
now,
They own the
right?
Tony Hawk series. That'd be a good one to bring in. They have Deadpool. The Deadpool game.
Let's get more of that. I mean,
come on. Snoopy's Grand Adventure.
yeah, that's gonna sell the copies right there.
You don't know. There was a Downton Abbey game.
What do you even do in that game?
Oh no, it was for Android and iOS. I guess you cook in the basement and then do drama throughout the day. I don't know.
Do drama.
That's
the
thing.
action. You do drama.
They had a couple of SpongeBob games. They, I guess, published Chivalry.
Chivalry 2 or the first one?
The first one. But now I'm in 2019. I don't know when Chivalry 2 came out.
Around then, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought it was right after COVID, wasn't it? Like 21.
Yeah, might have been after.
Not a whole lot of
April 23rd, 21. Yeah.
007 games.
So in other words, they have not done that much outside.
Transformer games.
So yeah, I mean, and people scream about, oh no, you're monopolizing, and it's like, really? Microsoft bought Call of Duty, and like that's it. They bought Call of Duty, and they bought the Blizzard catalog.
Well, they bought the back catalog on.
Well, yeah, I mean they bought
on
all
Activision
of that,
too, which means there is a possibility for that. Let me go to their original.
But I mean,
because it is a possibility they bought some good games. And how many games they made for the Atari 2600 is unbelievable.
Here come all of the remakes. Get ready.
Look, I mean, trust me, if they did a modernized version of River Raid, I'd be all about it.
For everybody yelling about it, it's like y'all are upset that it's Call of Duty, and like that's it. That's what you guys are screaming about.
Mm-hmm. Modernized version of Pitfall would be awesome. Like, because you could do basically, because we're pretty sure we're not going to get Nathan Drake anytime soon for the Uncharted series.
Pitfall could be their version.
Pitfall could be that, yeah.
The action adventure niche.
They have Ghostbusters games like all over the place, so I mean,
the one for 360 was okay.
I liked it a lot. It was good, but it was, I'm also a fanboy when it comes to Ghostbusters.
Again, it's a niche market. They bought a bunch of niche games.
They maybe they'll end up, now that EA no longer has an exclusivity on Star Wars stuff, maybe they'll go for something like that and just use the studios. Because Ubisoft's got a game coming out, 2 games coming out, I think, that are Star Wars games, and then EA has, because they own whatchamacallit, Respawn, right? Doesn't EA own Respawn? Yeah.
Yes.
That's made the more recent games that were pretty good. But I mean, looking at their old stuff, there's maybe you can take like Moonsweeper and create, or Double Dragon, and create a modernized version of like these old games that we were familiar with. But Afterburner, if I remember correctly, was a flight sim. Not a very good one because it was back in the day, but I really don't see a whole lot of options here other than
people are just mad because it's Call of Duty and it's the Blizzard catalog. Like,
that's what modern gamers are upset about, is how dare you stop Call of Duty from being on Sony. It's like, well, okay.
Well, again, Microsoft would be dumb to take that money out of their own pockets.
Yeah, but Sony is dumb and will be obstinate about whether or not they would like pay to have it on their platform for the licensing.
I mean, if you look at
if Sony and Epic get together, all Epic does is pay people to be on their fucking thing. Sony's just got to get with the club, be like, "Hey, we'll pay whatever you want to bring your game over here."
Also, we do know that Sony and Epic are friends because that's where a lot of the Sony games went for their PC launches and subsequent exclusivity.
It's because Epic does what Sony doesn't want to do. Epic pays them for exclusives. Sony doesn't want to pay people for exclusives, yet they're getting paid for their exclusives. Like, bruh, make your fucking choice.
They just don't want to pay Microsoft for the exclusive, which I get. Like, that's bad blood, and that's long term. You know, bridges have been asunder for a long time, kind of deal. But
Microsoft has given up that fight. They know they've lost. It's over. The console wars are gone.
The console wars are over, but they're finding out different ways to make Sony pay them. And this is it. Like, this is a great way for Sony to have to pay them for licensing. And Microsoft's like, yay. And Sony's like, yeah, we're not doing that. Your player base is going to be in pitchforks to defend them and things like that. It's like, this is all so dumb.
Looking at this, since 2020, okay, hold on. Let me count real quick.
We're waiting.
Okay. Out of 12 games that are listed, how many are not Call of Duty?
3. You said 12?
Yes.
Okay, 3. I'm going to go 3.
5.
Are you looking at the list? That's not fair if you're counting them.
It's 5.
Damn. I was close then. I said 3.
Well, I'll go with 4 because I don't count Sekiro because that's just Stadia release.
Don't count Sekiro. But also look, if some of those games are I'm also not counting games that are duplicates either.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll give
Am I
you,
right then?
I'll give you 2.
Uh-huh.
I'll give you Crash Bandicoot 4 and Crash Team Rumble. Those are the only 2 that I'll give you that are actually other games. You have the remaster.
Well, you got Tony Hawk.
Yeah, but it's 1 and 2. It's just a remaster. You're not actually making a new game. You're just, making the game better.
No, it was a remake. It was a remake, not a remaster.
Like a rebuild?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, I don't play Tony Hawk games.
If it counts with Resident Evil, it counts with Tony Hawk too.
Hey, that's fair.
I didn't know
it was a remake.
what it was,
I'll give it to that.
So am I right? Is it 3? What number is it?
The answer is 3.
Yes! I did it!
It's 2 Crash games and the Tony Hawk game.
Yay! Mm-hmm. Look, it's my small victory for the day. Okay, let me have it.
Which the reason I was saying duplicates, because you can't see the list and we're looking at the list, is because they had to make ones for PS4 and Xbox One. And
you just switch those together.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I mean, it's just sad. But you're right. And to be fair, when all the argument was going on, we should have just gone to this list to go, let's see what they're really getting.
And I mean, people that are yelling about, oh, this is a win for capitalism and things like that. It's like, well, okay, first of all, it's business. Capitalism is just built
business
in.
As usual.
But it's not. This is not hurting the consumer. It's not cutting out a necessity in the market. It's literally going, okay, Microsoft now owns Activision Blizzard. We own Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Diablo. The rest of that, y'all don't even care about.
But now, I will say this.
Oh, so it is a remaster.
Is a remaster? I thought it was a remake.
Yeah, looking at this, it's a remaster because Activision Blizzard looked for other third-party developers to pursue the remasters, but found no one else was skilled. No one else was as skilled as the Vicarious team. So they let them do it. So it was just a remaster.
Okay.
They did rebuild the geometry of it with modern technology, but they basically just remastered it from the original. It's kind of like what they did with Diablo 2, where they just remastered the game over top of it, and then made it modern. But you can't go back and play old graphics, I don't think. But
no, you couldn't do that.
Because Diablo 2 is a remaster, one of the best remasters I've ever seen in my.
I thought that one's considered a remake though, but they had to do it on top of the old one to be able to.
Yeah, the game is exactly the same, 1-to-1, identical perfection. No, nothing. It's just a pretty face. It put makeup over the original game.
I guess that's true by definition.
Yeah. You remake, you're basically starting the game over from scratch.
Yeah, you're
using
rebooting.
The original
right?
as is inspiration, which they did with Resident Evil 4 and 2. And
it's like the new Demon Souls.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, apparently it's just remastered. So yeah, we don't count that. So only 2 games.
Two games, and they're Crash games. That's it.
And I will give it, like, Activision was just a publisher on Tony Hawk, because Vicarious Visions, the beauty of that company is the one that made that game. And holy goodness, Microsoft, let them be free. Give them remaster projects, because they will not let you down.
Well, I think you're going to end up with, because of the advertising that Microsoft's currently putting out there. They're currently making sure that Spyro is seen. They're showing that Crash is seen, all that. So this is our new stuff, and they're mixing it in with, like, they'll show a shot of Master Chief and some other things. I think that that's basically what they're going to end up doing, is saying, look, we're going to have to figure out how we need to focus this, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to focus this because now we own all of these different systems. And I think it's going to be cool, because if you go to the people, once Bobby Kotick's out of there, you go to the creative people and go, look, the franchises that are owned from the 80s and the 90s, what do you want to see remade that you think would be cool modernized? And then have them pitch ideas, because that's conversations happened before, and board members, Bobby Kotick, whoever is gone, no, we can't do that. Why would we put money into that? We've got all this money that we were investing into Call of Duty. You know,
I could see them, if they're smart, they'll hit StarCraft. Like, they will do something with that franchise, because it has been dead for a while.
Oh, sure.
And you have the potential to come back big. And I mean big. You come back as an RTS like it was originally. You come back with that original style too, not like graphics wise, but you come back with that original style and a good story with it, and you can do something with it. Or you do both,
and you hit 2 different audiences.
Why the fuck not?
Wasn't there gonna be? There was gonna be one that was normally an RTS. I don't think it was StarCraft, but there was one that was gonna be that was originally an RTS, and they were looking at changing it to a shooter. Was it Red Alert?
40K has been doing that too, where they did the third-person shooter, and it's also an RTS.
Yeah, but it's not that one that I'm thinking of. There was one. It got canceled. I wanted to say it was. It wasn't Red Alert. I can't remember. That's gonna bother me, and we'll talk about. I'll randomly think about it. I just remember it being announced at one of the Microsoft E3s once upon a time. And then it just went away, because I think they announced a mobile version of the game at the same time, and then they were talking about the other.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So.
We'll see.
Anything else? That was actually a longer
conversation than we had expected. It always is. Anytime it's like, there's not a whole lot to talk about. We'll be out of here in 5 minutes. No.
That's all right. It gave us time to talk about each one of the subjects, right? So, well, we do appreciate everybody who hangs out with us every other week on Infinite Respawn. If you want to, we'd love it if you hit the little sub button and the little bell that's next to it. That way you know when our next one goes live. Looks like it's going to come right around the same time as BlizzCon, so we should have some news, hopefully. Maybe it's something big, like Chicken's predicting. What do you all think? Let us know down below. We need to know those things. Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/EliteChicken313. He's been playing games.
Not this week. Soon again, hopefully. I got Liza P done and played. As soon as I can get my streaming days back, we're going straight into Resident Evil 4, the DLC. I've already downloaded, it's ready to go. Just need the time.
There you go. Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv or kick.com, either one, MDB Oak Tree. I'm only there on Sundays currently, just because of stuff going on in the real world, and don't have much time for anything else. But I still like my Sundays with my friends, so get to do it. And then, for Infinite Respawn, I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Chicken.
And he's Baka.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
He's Baka.